Good evening. You join me in the velvety embrace of the velvet of night. I'm not trying to write a song here, I'm supposed to be looking at flashlights. So let's get the headlight on so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. These are the very first initial thoughts. So this isn't a review, but I'll try and cover what I can and give you a nice sort of side-by-side in real time. I don't cut any of these, it's all just a stream of consciousness, whether you like that or not, because I know I do waffle. But this is the Brinyte, and it's the P16. See that there? Kind of like a tactical thrower, so in that regards it's long, it's got the tail switch, but it's a doubler. Claris used to have some good ones of these, I believe Olight do certain ones like that. There is a P18 Pro which I looked at by Brinyte, and that has the same setup. I quite like that. I like a tail clicker, and I've got no problems with these. I've never like accidentally touched the mode button, so you have an on off and what have you, and then that. So let's have a look at it. It does have one of these ring things so you can put it in like a holster. I quite like that. I'm not so keen on this. No matter how I hold this watch, that's how I like holding it. So I have like one finger behind the main ring and then the rest of them like in front of the ring. But the problem I'm having is that, can you hear that in the background? So as Too Fast and Furious goes past there in the background, look at that. So no matter how I hold that, it's like pushing on something and it's a little bit annoying. It does work. I mean, I've had this in my back pocket when I've been hiking tonight, and it clips in and out very easily. So function wise it's good, but aesthetics and ergonomics not so good, which is a shame. It does have the dual buttons, so you have your side there, and that does give you an indication of the battery level, and that's also used for charging. I'm not going to cover this now, but I will cover that in the full review. In regards to the front, you have like this, I guess I would call that crenulated. In other words, it's got holes in, so you can put it, you can stand it down. It's not one of these daft attack bezels where you're supposed to, jump out of a tree like a ninja. I've never really understood them. I mean, they're going to see you coming, aren't they? But anyway, so pretty nice. It's a smooth reflector, look. Now what emitter is down there? So the LED down there is an SFT, not the SST, it's an SFT40. So purely made for throwing, because if you remember, the SFT20s are nice, little bit throwy, nice, some of the colour was okay on them. The SFT40 is very, very nice, and then the SFT40, which is the newer one by Luminous, very nice. About 2,000 lumens on this on its maximum setting. I'm not going to give you the rundown on every lumen on every setting because this isn't a review, but that should give you the basic. And it does have Type-C, hoo-hoo, hurrah! So there's your little flap there. It's an okay flap, I will cover that in the review. I probably want it a bit better, it's a little bit flimsy, but Type-C, so it doesn't matter whether you put it in, the typical with USB, no matter which way you put it in, it's wrong on the Type-A end. Well, this is C, so it does work. Does Type-C to C working, and does it work whilst charging? I'll cover that in the review. Okay, so enough of me waffling, let's actually show you what the damn thing looks like. So, tail clicker, and you can use the side button, obviously, so you see that's still running all the time. That's using a minimal amount of power, and you can disable that by just undoing the tail. So let's have a little look here. So let's turn this on, go to its lowest mode. So that's your lowest mode. Could I hike with that? So if I put this down, I'll show you. There's my foot. So you see that there? So yes, I could. I've always said a thrower isn't really for hiking, though, is it? Let's be honest. And let's see what it looks like trying to push out a bit over the other side of that river. It's okay. It's okay. Very low though. That's probably about 10-15 lumens or something, I don't know, maybe it's less. But as you can see, if we come down a little bit, let's look at the Brinyte profile here. Very clean and clear cut there. You have your spot in the middle, which is like from the smooth reflector there, and that's involved in throwing the light out there. And let's push out a little bit there, and then you can see there's an obvious termination line there, left and right there. And can you hear that in the background? It sounds like Fast and Furious again. So it is pushing out. So this is the lowest, and then we'll go to medium if I can find the button. There's medium. Can you hear that in the background? It sounds like Brands Hatch. Someone is out here in the countryside blasting their engine. Okay, so look at that. Pretty good. Like I say, 2,000 lumens. I believe this is IPX8, but don't quote me on that. That will be in the full review, because this is, I've had this out the box for a few hours only. I haven't studied all the specs, but it's pushing down there. Let's see for distance over here. So it's going over the other side of there. Pretty nice. And remember, I will compare this to others, and I'll show you in a moment. Does it go around that corner? Aye, it does. Look, not bad, not bad. And then we'll go to high. This isn't turbo, but it's high. Now, in regards to width, I'll hold this out at arm's length. So look, see the width of the beam there? Pretty good, and that is very, very throwy. But by design, it's a smooth reflector. Look at that. Very nice. Does that go up into the sky? Yeah, pretty nice over there. And then let's go to turbo. So we'll go back to that scene that was showed there, and we'll go to the last setting, highest turbo. There, that's turbo. So that's well, according to their figures anyway, this is 2000 lumens. Pretty nice. Let's walk with that. Yeah, I could definitely walk with that. I wouldn't. I would never sort of choose this to do that with, but you could do it. Very nice. Illuminating all the puddles. Does it go down the river? Let's have a look. Yeah, no problem. Very, very nice. Very, very similar to the P18 Pro, but it's a bit cheaper because that P18 Pro price was, it was way up there. You know, it was higher than Nvidia's stock. It was ludicrous. So pretty nice. And I just want to be honest here. This was sent to me, but it won't affect the review. You know, all of my stuff's always honest. And I also want to point out it's extremely wet. So I just want to point it out. Things may appear slightly brighter. You see all the dew on this grass. So it's extremely wet. So generally with a lot of reflective surfaces around, things can sometimes look brighter or more intense. So I just want to warn you on that. But other than that, I don't cut these things. This is in 4K at the highest encoding I can get away with, and I'm doing it in HDR. So you'll get full colour gamut if you've got an HDR TV or a monitor. So pretty nice. Anyway, I can feel myself waffling. So let's turn this off. I want to compare this. So let's turn my headlamp on and put this in my back pocket. Bear with me, bear with me. This will all make sense, right? So what am I comparing it with? Well, I'm comparing it with this, which I dropped in the mud earlier. Well, that was fun. This is the Convoy S12. I believe this is about 3,000-ish lumens. I could be wrong on that, but it's a triple emitter. It's using 3 tiny SFT40s though. Look at that. So totally different. You're going to get, because it's the tri setup, it is smooth, but it's tri. You're going to get a totally different, more floody beam here. So watch. Turn the headlamp on, so I'm not cheating. Let's turn this on full. There, totally different. You see? Could I hike with that? Definitely. But then, does it throw as far as the P16? Probably not. No, even though it's more lumens, it doesn't matter. But that's more pleasant to use. I mean, maybe if you were hunting, it depends on your usage case. Hiking, definitely. This is kind of more multi-purpose. You could put it on a lower level and just do bits and pieces, but I quite like this. So this is, I'll show you what it looks like anyway. So headlamp on, there you go. So you can get a good look. I believe this is a 21700, like the P16. Simple tail clicker. And quite nice knurl in there. And then look how wide the beam is. I'll use my breath to demonstrate that. There, you see that? There, you can sort of see the width. There, so quite floody, even though it's smooth reflector, but it's a triple setup. So quite nice. I quite like the tint on that as well. Right, get that in the ammo dump bag, and I'll show you the next one. Next one I'm comparing it with, old, it's a 18650, so smaller cell, you're not going to get as much juice, but it's outputting less. So this puts out, I believe, 1100 to 1000 lumens, and it uses an XP, it's the old Cree XPL high, but pretty nice, and it's a tail click, and it's got all like tactical things on, you can lock it and stuff. So let's turn out the headlamp, let's see what this looks like. Boom, pretty nice, that's not bad. Beam kind of reminds me of the P18, where it's got kind of a fatty bit in the middle and then a little bit of spill. But again, width, if I hold that out arm's length, look, it's a thrower, isn't it? Look, see the left and the right, you've got nothing. Peripheral suffers. But it's nice, I've got no problems with this. Extremely hard wearing, I've smashed this around. It's built like a tank, but the problem with that is if you're holding this up in sort of that grip, sort of above your head, you know, it's FBI style, you hold your gun out or whatever. If you're holding it in that style, that can be a bit more aggressive on the shoulder muscles. You need to work them out a bit more, but you can do it underarm obviously. But pretty nice throw, decent. Especially bearing in mind that these are cheaper, and the jet beams have quite a nice anodization, in my personal opinion, that lasts. Even though I smashed this around, it's lasting. An old emitter though, so it's starting to show its age. Boom, get that turned off. Right, what else have we got? Okay, next one, turn on the headlamp. Right, here's the one I alluded to before there. Very similar to the P16, but it's the same company. This is the P18. I think there's a P18 and a P18 Pro. This happens to be the P18 Pro. It's got that daft name, Oathkeeper. I don't know why. You can get it with the, I think they call it an attack ring. In fact, I didn't take it off. I had to say to them, don't send that in, because due to strange laws in this country, you're not allowed anything like a ring like that, because they think it's a knuckle duster. It isn't. It's a flashlight, but there you go. Rant over. Okay, so much bigger, more bulkier, bigger head. Other than that, it's quite similar. but this is using a Cree XHP35, I think. And I don't know if it's a 35.2 or the B or the 0.3 or whatever the hell they call it. It's the older one, the straight 35. But again, same, you've got that tail clicker and then the mode button. So let's turn the headlamp out. That's out. Right, let's have a look at this. Boom. So let's go through the modes on this one. That's the lowest. You can hardly see that. Now watch, I'll bring it down. Now can you see how that's... I mean, it's probably difficult for you to see, but I'll hold it out. See how it's less aggressive, and I know it's less lumens here, but it's less aggressive in its delineation between the hotspot and the spill there. So we'll go up to the next level. See, still that hotspot isn't obscuring most. So interesting, isn't it, how it kind of spreads out a bit? I think that's the Cree 35. So next mode, boom. There, you can see the beam there. I'll show you the width. Quite a tight beam there. See it? But nice. I like using this. Again, I use that same grip. I'll turn the headlamp on to show you. Same grip where that's the delineation between the trigger finger and the rest there. Quite like that. But again, that gets in the way for me. It works as a clip, but it just gets in the way. So now you can't take that off. I'll cover it in the review. There's like a little slot. You probably can't see it. You can't really see it. There's a lanyard slot there, but on the P16 you have a lanyard slot, which is quite nice, but then like a little slot where it comes snug with that, but you can remove that because I have tried to take it to bits and it does come to bits. So nice, and then we'll turn the headlamp off so we're not cheating here. There, let's see if that pushes out. Nice. Does it go down the river? There's a hole down here, wasn't there? Let's have a look. Just so you can compare. You can compare and contrast. There you go. So quite wide, look at that. So your hotspot's quite wide. Then you've got a bit of spill, but width is okay. It's nearly filling the whole camera here. But if I hold that out arm's length, that's probably one of the wider that I've showed you so far. I mean, I've got a sofa coming up that's mega wide, but it's a TIR setup. This is a smooth reflector again, and this is a 18650, where it's 21700 on the P16, so you're going to get more juice, longer run times. A little bit heavier though, but worth it. Right, next level. Boom, I believe that's the highest. I'll try again, but I think that's the highest. So how far does that go? Yeah, pushes no problem, even though that hot spot is quite, you know, it's quite wide, but that is pushing nicely. Does it go any higher? No, that's it, okay. Right, so that was the P18 Pro Brinyte Oathkeeper, or whatever the hell they call it this week. Okay, what else? An old classic. We had the Convoy C8, this is the C8 Plus with the lovely sort of design of the heatsink design there. XPL high again, an 18650. You're lucky to get about 1000 lumens out of this, but nothing wrong with it. Simple tail clicker. This is in the desert sand or whatever the hell, but it's more brown. Let's see this. Boom. Pretty nice. Now I think that's on high. Now let's have a look at the beam width. So there's the beam there. Quite wide, but you do have that central punch, you see. But again, that central punch isn't obscuring anything because it's quite wide, like the P18 there. But this is a Cree XPL high. Let's see what it looks down on the water. Let's have a look. Aye, pretty nice. Look at that blue shaft. You don't often hear that on YouTube. Look at my blue shaft in the night, in the centre there. That's just the particulates in the air there, catching the light. So nice. Now how far will that go? Does it go right over there? Yeah, right over those trees, right in the distance, right up into the canopy. No problem. Right down there. Yeah, brilliant. Dead cheap this, really good light. I like it. Boom. Now I do have one similar to that, which is from Lumentop, I believe. If I can find it. I think that feels like it, but bear in mind I'm doing a lot of this in the dark. Yes. This is 1100 lumens, so I think they quote 1200, but it's probably slightly under that. If you go to their website, I'm sure they say 1200. Same emitter though. Lumentop, it's a GT Mini, not that big ridiculous one. And again, XPL high, smooth reflector. Tail clicker, no. It's one of the buttons, but it's got the better UI. So let's do that. This happens to have a warm tint, so just bear that in mind. So turn that on. I think that's a lower setting, but we'll go to turbo. There, that's turbo. Look at that, nice and warm this one, but look at the shaft, slightly different looking. Not as wide, I would say. If I hold it at arm's length, very sort of throwery-ish. In other words, you're losing periphery there massively, but it's only interested in sending light out, isn't it? Let's see if it'll stretch out. Yes, look at that, excellent throw. To my eyes, that's way better than that C8 Plus. Really good. Right in the distance there. Yeah, excellent. I'm happy with that. Let's see in the canopy. Yeah, brilliant. If you want a tail clicker, you can't get it in the tail clicker, but you have ramping interface, which I really like. I like ramping interface. It allows you to tailor it. It's harder to memorize run times, but you know, what can you do? And this is an 18650 as well. Cree XPL high. Boom! Get that in the bag. What else am I checking it with? I'm checking it with, I've turned red light on there, sorry. This is the Convoy M21E, I believe. Does that say? M21E. Nice design, looks nice. Not a tail clicker, uses a 21700 cell. Smooth reflector though. Look quite nice. A lot of lumens out of this one. I think this one might be 3000-ish. Let me turn this on. Bang! Now this is ramping, although the ramping was always a bit finicky on this one. It sort of doesn't do anything, then it goes flying down like that. And then it doesn't do anything, then it goes flying up. So, a bit weird. But anyway, so this is on turbo. I've got that out at arm's length. So, a little bit wider, look. A little bit wider. And the termination line's a little bit smoother. Although you do have a rings set up. Can you see that there? You've got like a purple ring. You know, if Prince is around, you'd love that, or Jimi Hendrix. So you've got purple ring, then the main beam, then a bit of tinge shift, but at this range you're going to get that, especially on this emitter. This is a Cree again, so pretty nice. It does push out. Now I could hike with that, look. Let's walk along a bit. Yeah, I'd hike with that. I mean, I certainly wouldn't put it on turbo because it's going to get hot, but that's decent. Let's look up at these trees. Look at that. Not bad at all. Very impressed. It's even stretching right over those trees in the far distance there. See them right in the centre? It's illuminating them. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Nice and wide. There's no real discernible hotspot, is there? Until you get to, let's have a look. Right, now I can see a hotspot. You see it in the middle there? So quite spread out, that one, even though it's a single emitter. I like it. Nice. But distance-wise, I mean, this is going to chew through the battery quicker because it's more lumens. That's the thing. So do you want distance or width? You can't have both necessarily. Boom. Or can you? And that's an interesting question. And with that in mind, I think I can feel one in my hand. Right, yes, there it is. This is the IF22A. So can you have a nice floody beam and a bit of throw at the same time? You can. Look, so fun, so dead cheap. Let's turn that off and back on. But look, it's a TIR setup, but it is using SFT, I believe it might be an SFT40, but I think it's an SFT, which is the flatter one for throw. And size-wise, tiny, even though it's a 21700. No tail clicker, but you do have the side button, and it's got the battery level and all that good stuff. But very interesting, this one. So let's turn that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on its lowest setting first, extremely low in fact. So we'll come down to the floor in the dark. Right, so that's it on its lowest setting. So if looking at that, you'd think, right, this is a thrower. It's only interested in throw. You're not going to get anything else. I can only see that hotspot. Yes. However, watch. If I ramp this up a bit, you can see what's happening. See the width. So right, that there is now its maximum ramping, but not turbo. Look at the width, especially when I come back a bit. Look. There's no termination line because of that TIR. So this is extremely fun to use. Look, I can push out with an extremely wide hotspot there. That's like double the width, at least, of most of those. Maybe it's nearly double of the P18 Pro. But that hotspot, look how wide it is. And useful. It's actually useful. And yet, look at the periphery. I can walk, look, I've got that at arm's length and I'm pointing right out, look, to there. And yet, I've got enough peripheral to see the floor and both sides. That's extremely valuable as a hiker. I mean, that's incredible. And I'll just show you. I'll keep my hand here and I won't move, but I'll move this. Look. I'm not moving my hand, but look, I can see the floor. So that's incredible for a thrower. And I mean, look how intense that beam is. So let's get this on turbo. Right, that's turbo. That's its maximum. I mean, look at that. I haven't used this for a while, actually, which is a shame. I've got so many lights that gems like this kind of miss out. So if you needed throw and width, you could probably get this. But the P, I would say, if you want a dedicated thrower and you're only interested in distance and being tactical, for the same cell, you're probably going to have to get the P16. I wouldn't want to drop this too many times, but the P16 seems to be built like a tank. And I haven't done the review yet, but I like it. It feels nice in the hand. This, you can't have it in that same grip. You can turn it on and then hold it up like that in that grip and all that malarkey. But interesting. So It's always nice to see these things side by side, so you can think, well, that's very interesting. I'll do some side by sides in the review where I'm hiking and walking along, and I'll do it. In fact, I'll do all of these at the same time, so there'll probably be about 9 videos playing at once. It'll probably kill the computer, but interesting. You see right across that path there. Look, if I fire that up to the sky, look at that. Calling Batman, come in from Gotham. Look at that, beautiful. Now let's go at the far end of the extremes here. So let's turn that off. Very nice light. Let's go to the absolute extreme. What if you said, you know what? I only want distance. I don't care about anything else. I just want distance. I want this to be like a weapon in Starfield. You can get that. And how do you get that? You're going to need something like this. So this is the Next Torch, who makes some quite rugged, nice lights, but the prices are quite high at the minute. USB charging, same cell. Now this only outputs 400 lumens, so straight off you're thinking, 400 lumens, it'll be terrible. What's he talking about? What an idiot. Wait and see though. Distance, if you only care about distance, this is what you want. This is a LEP. Now that stands for, can you guess? It's not light emitting P or something like that. So I'll let you think about that whilst I show you how this works. So let's turn this out. Right, so this is going to go on to its highest mode, because that's how it turns on. You've got 3 modes on this, but it goes on to its highest. So let's turn that on. Boom, look at that. So that's laser excited phosphor. That's what the LEP stands for. Distance, incredible. Where I'm standing here, there's nothing far enough away that can beat this light. So I'd have to climb up that gully there. Incredible. But would I hike with this? Definitely not. That's the problem. This is so extreme, it's almost like a laser, isn't it? So you've got that hot spot and that incredible beam. It's so defined, look. Amazing. But then, what's the use purpose of this? That's what you've got to ask yourself. I would rather, I mean, there's no way I'd hike by this, and I would rather leave the house with a P16 than this. You know, let's fire that up into the sky. Let's fire it up into Gotham. Let's have a look. So it's hitting the trees there. And we'll fire it up into the sky. Look, that beam goes on forever. Incredible throw on that. Really, really good. Look, it's like a laser show. So we'll walk along a bit, but do I like walking with this? Definitely not, because if you look down the floor, I can't see where the hell I'm going. And if I go down a rabbit hole, I've had it. I could go flying into the river. So not pleasant. So let's turn that off. Boom. Right, let's go back to the light I'm supposed to be talking about here. Show you what it looks like. There it is, P16 by Brinyte. I will give this the full review. I've got a lot of testing to do on this, so just bear that in mind. And just understand, it does take me a long time to do these reviews, because I genuinely carry them for 2 weeks. That's just one of the things I do on this channel, so bear with me. Nice dual mode, waterproof-ish, but well, I don't know about this, and I'm not as happy with this clip. I'm going to take that off once the testing's done, but I'm leaving it on while I'm testing it, because it certainly functions fine for what its intended purpose is. It's got the nice side switch, which you can use. Look, you can use that to turn it on and off. You know, you can do that, but obviously you've got to turn it on first. But once it's on, you can cycle through the modes, you see. So you can do that if you want. You can lock it and all that. But, you know, that's not what this is about. We will go through that. So you can see I'm just using my little finger there to change the modes. See that? Instead of that mode button, which you can use. I should have mentioned strobe warning coming up. So strobe warning. If you want strobe from off, you just hold the mode button. There, see it? Pretty nice strobe, and it's a dual strobe, so if you watch, turn this off. Again, strobe warning coming up for people who have problems with that. So you hold down the mode, boom. See how it goes? It's like flashes, then it flashes slower, then it flashes. That stops you sort of acclimatizing to it. It makes it more dazzling. I quite like that, but it's fast enough where it will have its effect. And it's not too fast. Pretty decent. If you want to get that when it's on, so let's say that's on, someone's attacking you, or there's a bear coming or whatever, I believe you've got to click and hold it. Yeah, click and hold it. So you can't get directly to it, but you can get directly to it from off. So if it's off and you've got a rampage and ninja, you can just go, aha, take this, good sir. There you go, boosh. How do you like that? Anyway, so let's walk along with this. Right, thanks for joining me. This is just the initial thoughts, and my goodness, 24 minutes has just passed. I'm so sorry, I really am. I do waffle too long, although that just seems to be what I do in this channel. But bear in mind, I am testing with a lot of things, and I've got a lot of things to cover. I've got to try and memorise all these LED settings and all that stuff. Anyway. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this. If you've got any questions, I will answer them. I will do my best, but the full review will be up when I have time. I'm so busy. What else have I got to test? Tools, and I've got a ultralight from Nightcore to look at. And I keep getting companies saying, can I just say, if there's any companies watching this, don't bother sending me emails saying I want a favourable review. That's not a review, okay? sorry, that's not a review. A review is where I look at it and give my honest opinions. Otherwise, it's not a review. It's an advertisement, right? So I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be ranting, but it's really getting annoying at the minute. Or here's a good one. The email will start with, "We absolutely love your content," and then it's got loads of spelling mistakes in. So it's obviously a canned thing. So they don't love my content. They're just taking the mick. Anyway, look at all this. We've had a lot of water recently. We've had about 4 days of rain, so that's why it's like flooded here. Anyway, right. Sorry. So this is me signing out. Good night.